welcome to the next edition of Flow Community. Thank you so much for joining. This is a Zoom session, so there are some people joining in live, and there are some people inside this room as well. Thank you so much for joining. Today we're going to talk about flow, and we're going to continue to talk about flow. Today we're going to talk about why flow. All right. Question back to the people attending. Why do you think flow is important in everyday life? Do you tend to think of yourself as stuck? Sometimes you do things over and over again. You have a job, you have a family, you have kids, you have expectations that you want to meet for others, husbands, wives, you've been there. You're stuck. And you're saying that, okay, how do I get unstuck? Have you had that feeling? Those who've had that feeling can raise their hand. Yeah, you've had that feeling before. Stuck is the nemesis or the opposite of flow. So anything which gets you unstuck, right, is flow. So at the most simplest way to define it, the simplest way to say it is that anything which gets you unstuck is flow. You're in a state of flow, right? Is stuck also a state? You're in a state of stuck. You're in a marriage that doesn't seem to be working out. You're in a relationship with your kids that doesn't seem that they're really making progress, or you're making progress. So we define that as stuck in life. You just cross 30, you just cross 40, and you feel stuck. So any which way you define stuck, whatever stuck means, the opposite of that is. So flow is a derivative concept in a sense, right? For somebody who's stuck, right? Flow, obviously, for somebody in flow, they will probably not define it as flow. They would say that this is me. This is spiritual. I'm in the zone. I'm doing very well for myself. I'm making money. I'm a top athlete. I'm doing very well in life. For somebody who's spiritual, will say, I'm very, very spiritual. I'm walking in the spirit. They will not define it as flow. But to a person who's stuck, the definition that we're going to use is flow, because it's a stuck person's definition to get into flow. Somebody's already in flow will say, I don't know what you're talking about. This is me, right? So this talk is for people who want to make something out of their stuck situation, and they want to move from stuck to flow, right? Where else can you be in stuck? So how do you define stuck? Stagnation. Doing this like routines. Repeat stuff. Doing the same thing over and over again. That would be a definition of stuck. Where else can you be stuck? On the call. Where else can you be stuck? Can you be stuck in a job? Right? Something that you do to earn money. You're stuck. And a job also represents a monthly salary. Some people are stuck in a monthly salary, right? So job means monthly salary. You're stuck with a monthly salary and you're like, how do I get out of this? So the way to get out of this is, do you want to get into a flow state? Okay. So we're going to talk about why flow. The first reason why we talk about flow is it's first and foremost for stuck people. So if you identify yourself as stuck, if you identify yourself as I need help, and you're reaching out your hand, whether by spirituality or whether by exercise or whatever you're trying to do differently, you're saying I'm stuck, I need help, right? So the first step towards bridging from stuck to flow is reaching out for help, raising a hand and say, I need help. I need to get into flow. Okay? Be good? You understanding that? So now let's use the word here. You're going from stuck to unstuck to flow. So have you noticed that you're stuck, right? And you're trying to get unstuck. And you're saying that I'm doing this thing over and over again. I'm trying to explain to my spouse, my boss, what I need to do differently, but it doesn't seem to change, right? You're expecting it to change. That's the definition of stuck. For most people, they don't even say that they're stuck. They say that they're doing the same thing over and over again. They say that they're trying to be successful. They're trying. So the word that they use to describe stuck is trying. So that's a word that people hide behind. They're like, I'm trying to lose weight. Basically what they're saying is, I'm stuck at the same weight for the last 10 years. And there's really nothing I can do about it. Oh, I've been earning the same amount of money, but I'm trying to get a job change. I'm trying to talk to my boss. What you're saying is, the word trying is the same thing as stuck, right? So when you go from stuck to unstuck to flow, you want to identify yourself, the areas in which you're trying. So are you trying to change a job? Anyone on the call? Anyone here? You're trying, which means you're stuck. Okay? Yeah, you're with me so far. If you're trying to change a spouse, say it the right way. I'm stuck. I'm stuck inside my marriage. I'm stuck inside my responsibilities. I'm stuck with my children. I'm stuck with this old car. I'm stuck with this house that I want to change. So the first step to getting unstuck, to getting too unstuck, is actually admitting that trying and stuck is the same thing. That trying is not good enough. Most people think that trying is good enough. Trying to lose weight is good enough. Trying to get healthier is good enough. Trying to move from one city to the next is good enough. But the answer is very simple. It's not good enough. To go to flow, to go to a place where you begin to attract things, you attract great things happening to you. You admit to yourself that trying is just an excuse. Go ahead, say it with me. My trying is just an excuse. Try that. Try that. I'm just giving an excuse to myself. Have you noticed that you watch a kung fu movie and suddenly you get all inspired and you want to do moves like Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan? Because you get inspired, but inspiration only lasts 30 seconds after till the video has stopped rolling, right? So the point is that trying is not good enough. You admit to yourself that the area which I'm trying in, I'm actually stuck. Like sometimes I say to myself that I am fat. It's hard for me to admit. For example, I could say I'm trying to lose weight. That is a euphemism. It's not real. You're not trying to lose weight. You're just hiding behind the fact that you're trying. Because you're trying just means run on a Sunday, eat really heavy starchy foods Monday to Friday, and then try again on Saturday. That's what most people's trying means. Same thing with the job. They're like, I don't like my boss, I don't like my salary, but I'm trying to get another job. What they're really saying is that somebody called them and they showed some interest. They're not really trying hard, right? So the point is that trying is not the same as getting unstuck. Trying means stuck. Say that. Trying means stuck. If I'm trying, I'm stuck. Say that. Okay, on the call. If I'm trying, I'm trying because I'm stuck. I'm trying because I'm stuck. Say that. But you don't understand, I'm trying so hard. I'm trying so hard. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Yesterday we had somebody jump the drain and land their car tire inside the drain, so they couldn't really move. So and try as they might, the tires kept spinning. And the person was really angry. He was angry because his spotter, who was outside the car, his son, didn't spot the drain, and now the vehicle is in the drain. Okay? You with me so far? Yeah? And he's screaming and screaming and screaming and screaming. And he's put the car in gear and the wheels are spinning. He's spitting up a storm. He's getting abusive. All the neighbors are out because he's really screaming and he's spitting mad at his son for having jumped his car into the drain, right? You got the situation? Yeah? I come out, I say, would you be open to listen? And he's still spitting. He's not able to listen. And he rushes off. He says, I'm getting out of here. He goes out, gets somebody with a jack, and the person comes back. But because the car's in the drain, there's no way to put the jack underneath the car because the car is really flush with the ground. Okay? There's no space to insert a jack. So after about 10 minutes, of me watching all of this, I approach him again and I say, Vikas, can you hear me for a second? And now at this point, he's tried everything. He's now listening. He's not trying anymore. Before that, he was trying to get the car out. He was trying his best. And I said, stop trying and listen. He says, I'm listening. I used his name. Most people respond to their name really well. I said, Vikas, stop. Here's what you do. Put the car in reverse. Turn the steering in the way you least expected, which is exactly the opposite of what you're doing, and the car will get out. Right? Reminds me of my most favorite quote from the movie with Cars 1, right? Lightning McQueen, where he says, turn left to go right. And he cannot believe me because he said that for me to get out, I need to put the steering in this direction. Is no, exactly the opposite. You turn the steering in exactly the opposite direction, and the car will get out. And within 30 seconds, his car was out. The problem was he was trying. And as long as you're trying really hard, you're stuck. And the more you try to solve your marriage, the more you get stuck. The more you try to solve your job, the more you get stuck. The more you try to be spiritual, the more you get stuck. So you may say, hey, what are you saying? Are you telling me to not try? Is that what I'm saying? Yes. Is that what I'm saying?
She's saying that my will not get into the flow.
Yeah. Correct. Absolutely right. The answer is don't try, do. Don't try, do. So hang in there with me. Like, it's kind of the same thing we're talking about. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Winners do. Losers try. The difference between a winner and a loser is this, that a winner does something knowing that he's going to do that and he's going to learn something from it. But a loser says, I'm going to try this just once and I'm not going to really learn anything from it, but I'm going to try anyway. My husband's really not listening to me, but I'm going to try. My children are not listening to me, but I'm going to try. My boss is not listening to me. He or she is not responding to my emails, but I'm going to try sending an email. And when you ask this person, did your boss respond? And they're like, nah, she never responds. He never responds. But I tried. If you try something like that, you will 100% fail. Okay? You with me so far? So winners do. Winners do. You do with conviction. So the difference between this aspect is conviction. And and that's completely opposite to trying to fail. Because you're trying to fail. You're not trying to win. You're trying because, hey, I'm just trying. You with me so far? When you operate with conviction, let me promise you, the universe will find a way to get you your reward. How do we know a winner is winning? Because it starts to work. How do you know winning happens? Because it happens. And how do you know the mountain will move? I know Jesus said, if you speak with faith, right? If you have faith the size of a mustard seed and you do not doubt in your heart, the mountain will move. You with me? Yes? Yes? How do we know that the person has faith? Answer? The mountain moves. When the money comes, when the job comes, you're a winner. Or if you were just, trying. So when you have someone who's trying to lose weight and they've been at the same thing for the last 6 months, and all they say is they're trying, then the answer is also very simple. They are not trying to win. They are just trying to fail, trying to continue in the same boat. But because they want to save face in front of you or to yourself in the mirror, you say, I'm trying my best. What should I do differently? Okay? But what's the difference between that trying and doing? And I want you to internalize this. Doing is different from trying. Doing is what you do today in order to win. You know that what you did today is a contribution to what you're going to do tomorrow. You see the difference between trying and doing? You with me so far? Yeah? So if you're going to win, to a winner, even 3 push-ups is good enough, because it's a 3 push-ups plus to the next goal. Is in the words of Arnold Schwarzenegger. He says that I know what I need to do in order to be in the best shape of my life, and I'm not doing this for myself. I'm going to win that Mr. Olympia, and I know this one push-up that I'm doing is headed in the direction of Mr. Olympia. You with me? So he's doing it with a smile. So if you see Pumping Iron, the movie, he says he's actually pumping iron with a smile on his face. Well, every other bodybuilder is like really sad, and they look really pained, right? And they ask Arnold, why are you smiling? He said that this one rep that I'm doing is going towards that goal of mine. But when a loser tries, he or she is not headed to a goal, and because of which any trying that they do doesn't give them results. So how do we know winners do, and they have the conviction, you get results? Okay, so work with me here. How do we know winners win? We know winners are winning because when they do things with conviction, results follow. Say it with me. When you do things with conviction, say it. When you do things with conviction, results follow. When you try something just for the sake of trying, you fail. Say that.
When you try something for the sake of trying, you fail.
Oh, I'm going to try and apply for that job. I don't think they will come back, but I'm going to try anyway. Well, I tried talking to that person about this opening, but they didn't pick up the phone. They just really might not be looking for a job change. Oh, I tried writing a note to my boss to explain this, but I don't think she will listen. Have you heard these statements before? These are called failure statements. These are called loser statements. A person who's out with conviction will have results. They will have one result or the other, but they will 100% have results. But for someone who's trying and who's just saving face by saying something, will have nothing to show for it. Because all they will have is themselves making a statement that says, I tried sister, I tried brother, but it didn't work. Yeah? But a person who does something with conviction will always have a result. At least you will have some data points. Agree? You will have some data points. So the first thing to going from stuck to unstuck to flow is to get unstuck. And how do you get unstuck? You get unstuck in the language. So the language says, I'm not just trying, I am doing. And I will do it with conviction. And because I do it with conviction, I will have results. You're with me so far? So if you have a result-oriented life, you will have a winner's attitude. So the first way to get unstuck is to go from a loser mindset to a results-oriented mindset. So the first mindset of a winner is results orientation. Results orientation is you're going to get some data. You're going to have something you're going to come back with. You asked the mountain to move, but something else moved. Great. You have some result to show. But a loser says, I tried, I have nothing to show. Now, if you remember the story from when Jesus said of the story of the people who received 5 coins, 2 coins, and 1 coin. Do you remember that story? The servants who received. So it was a master who gave his servants 5 coins. One servant he gave 5 coins, the other one he gave 2, another one he gave 1. So when he went on a long journey, by the time he came back, the guy who had 5 coins made 5 more. The person who had 2 coins made 2 more. But the person who had 1 coin just returned the 1 coin and said, I have nothing to show for it. So that person got punished the worst. Why? Why did he get punished the worst? And he said that whatever belongs to this one person with the 1 coin, give it to the guy with 5 coins. Moral of the story is that if you have nothing to show for it, then you're a loser. But if you have something to show, that's a great start. So the master said, at least you could have put my money in the bank for interest. I would have collected at least the interest. So the master is interested in something. He is interested in some result. But when you come back having done something with no result, no data points, nothing you learned from that. People go for a morning run and they're like, I went for a morning run. I'm like, did you get anything? Did you learn anything? Or, no, I just did my 20 minutes. Then the chances are you're not doing it with a view from a winner's mindset. Do you understand what I'm saying? People who don't understand that they needed to cover 5 kilometers. I think, how long did you run? I didn't make a note. How many minutes did you run? I don't know. Maybe 20 minutes. Then chances are you don't have a winner's mindset and that you're not going to do it the next day. So you're going to go from stuck to unstuck. When you want to get unstuck, you want to have a result-oriented lifestyle. A results-oriented lifestyle. Anything that you do is results-oriented. Your money is a clear reflection of your results. If you're not making money, you're not happy with the money you're making, chances are you are just trying to make money. You're not doing it with a view to win. Okay? So that needs to change. So how to go from stuck to unstuck? Unstuck is when you start doing things with conviction, results will follow. That's called getting unstuck. Does that mean we're getting into flow at the moment? No. Well, let's get into flow. Okay, so we are going from, so let's put the step before that is unstuck, is doing with conviction. Okay, the spiritual equivalent of this doing with conviction is faith with actions. The spiritual equivalent of doing with conviction is faith with action. Many people will say, Alvin, I did this, I did that, and I have faith and I made an action. Great. It does not mean that result's going to happen, but it will eventually happen. So faith with conviction plus time is what's going to get you unstuck. But does that mean that you're going to have tremendous flow happening in your life? No, not necessarily. Now let's go from unstuck to flow. What needs to happen when you need to go from unstuck to flow? Let's assume you're unstuck. So somebody recap for me, what does it mean to be unstuck? Let somebody on the call. You start doing things with conviction. Instead of, have you noticed those people who just wait for things to happen? Just wait for, I'm waiting for a response from my boss. No, did you pick up the phone and call, right? So don't wait. They're waiting for the ship to come. Instead of that, you go out and meet your ship, right? So you see a person doing that, you know that they're ready to go from unstuck to flow. But if they're doing that, a lot of people are complaining here and say, I'm doing everything, I'm getting some results, but does that mean they're in flow? No. Flow. You define flow when you say everything is incoming. Okay, you with me so far? Everything is incoming. Versus when you're unstuck, everything is outgoing. Okay? Right? So the big difference between unstuck and flow is that in the unstuck phase, you're trying. You're acting on faith. You're doing this. You're doing that. Everything is outgoing. But when you're in flow, the big key indicator of flow is what? Someone in the room? What is the key indicator of that you're in flow? No, everything's incoming. What that means is that the universe or God is sending things your way. When things start happening for you. Based on your actions, based on your convictions, but things started moving for you. And the pace at which they move for you tell you how much of flow you're in. For example, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant can close their eyes, throw the ball will always go in. Why does it do that? It's not faith with conviction. It's just that they have done something over and over again so many times that everything seems to work for them. Okay? Somebody who's coming from 5 business successes can go into the 6th one, and the 6th one will work. Why does it work? because they're in a state of flow. They're in a state of everything seems to be working, money seems to be coming, success seems to be coming, and because it is coming, more of it will come. So the spiritual truth behind this is this. Okay, and you can work with me here. To him, and to the diversity people here, to him, her, who has more is given. Okay, so the principle here is if you have it, if you have the mojo, then you get more mojo, right? If you don't have mojo, then whatever little mojo you have is going to get taken away from you, right? And you know, most like the Austin Powers movie, I lost my mojo, right? So don't lose your mojo. The thing with the mojo is that if you have it, you have more of mojo. It begins to work more. But if you don't have the mojo, then whatever little mojo you have gets like it's like taken away from you. So that's a spiritual principle, right? So let's apply that here. What is flow? Flow is your mojo. Okay. So let me put that. I hope you don't crucify me for this. The flow is your mojo, right? The mojo is what's working for you. Incoming, not outgoing, but incoming. So you will see this with the passive income promoters, people who say that you need to have a passive income, you need to have a business that is constantly giving you back money without you working, right? A passive income stream. That is incoming, right? That's the beginning of incoming. Okay. So anything that you're doing that promotes incoming is the mojo, is part of the flow. When you have universe or God sending you opportunities, that indicates that your mojo and your flow is working. So I'm sure you're excited and you're saying, okay, how do I go to this flow state? How do I go to getting into this flow? Come on, tell me more about it. Okay, get your outgoing correct. Get your outgoing right. Your outgoing has to be doing with conviction, faith with actions. If you're not having your outgoing correct, then your incoming will be bad. If you put garbage in, garbage goes out. Okay? Awesome. So the first definition of flow is incoming. So check your incoming. Check what is incoming. If the money coming into your bank is not good enough, then your incoming is not working. Check your incoming. How many incoming phone calls do you have? How many people are reaching out to you for your skill set? If they're not, then you're not skilled. If you're getting phone calls because somebody wants to use your skill set, that's incoming. People who are calling you to sell a product to you, which means you have money in the bank. Okay? Anything which promotes an incoming. Now, if the reason they're not calling you is because you don't have the skill set, you're not developed your skill set. You want people to be calling you incoming. Okay? Now we're going to talk about a flow state. Okay? We're going to give an intro to a flow state, and we're going to talk about how will you know that you're in a flow state? You will know that you're in a flow state because you have everything incoming. Incoming means that money is incoming, things are happening for you, you know you're in a flow. And when you work on that flow, you work on the incoming, then you begin to get more flow. All right. So let's say that some job opportunity comes and you're like, nah, I don't like that job opportunity. No, pick up the phone, welcome the incoming, welcome the opportunity. Never say no, because when you block that opportunity, you block the flow. You understand? Even though it's something that you don't want, you still pick up the phone and say, okay, let's talk about it, because that opportunity leads to the next opportunity, which actually leads to the opportunity which makes you the money. Most people miss that. They're like, this is not the opportunity I was looking for, but that wasn't designed to be the opportunity that was for you. That opportunity was just meant to link you to the next opportunity, which was the opportunity that made you the real money. So with most of the startups the startup guys, they do one startup, they do the next one, and it seems that they're failing. But what they're doing is that they're building their skill set to go to the final fifth or the sixth startup, which actually starts making the money. Yeah? You with me? Okay. Yes. So when you have incoming, welcome the incoming. So let me write that down. When it comes to the universe, welcome the opportunity. People don't take feedback. People just don't take feedback. I mean, they're like, who are you to give me feedback? Oh, he's just a dog. I mean, he's barking for no reason. No. Feedback can come from anywhere. But when you welcome the feedback, you welcome the opportunity to change. And the feedback can come from anyone. And the best place again it can actually come from is people who don't like you, because they will exactly tell you what they don't like about you. Gina, could you sit down? I'm getting distracted. Thank you. So I'll recap right here. Welcome the opportunity. When somebody says something to you, welcome that opportunity. Don't just say, "Oh, my husband's always saying the same thing." "Oh, my children, they're like." Welcome the opportunity. The feedback can come from anywhere. Welcome the opportunity. When you start welcoming the opportunity, the universe will send more feedback your way, and that completes the cycle. Okay, welcome the feedback. Okay. When I say opportunity, mostly it's going to be disguised as feedback. And everybody hates feedback, right? Everybody hates feedback. It's like, I don't want to talk to the person. He's always giving me some feedback. And say this with me. Feedback is opportunity. Say that with me. Feedback is opportunity. The more you push back on feedback, the less opportunity you will get. Because the more you push back and you say, no, not interested, not interested, not interested, then the universe says, well, the person's not interested. But you say, welcome feedback, welcome feedback, welcome feedback, welcome feedback. The universe says, great, send some more opportunity. So every hurdle is actually, what you think is a hurdle is actually a stepping stone. Yeah? Let me try to draw this a little better. When you're very small, a step will look like this. Because what you will see is the wall, the hurdle. But when you grow up, you grow taller, then you will use that hurdle as a step. So every feedback is an opportunity to grow. But if you keep pushing back on the feedback, then none of these opportunities that are hidden in the guise of feedback will help you grow. Okay? You with me so far? So you will find consistently a lot of people who are actually losers are people who don't recognize feedback when it comes. Okay? Are you able to hear me? Are you able to hear me? Okay. Awesome. Reva, did you miss anything I said? Awesome. So I'll conclude my topic here and I'll continue tomorrow, but I'll recap this last point. The last point that I want to say is here. The universe is always sending you feedback, and that feedback is opportunity. But if you do not recognize that feedback as opportunity to grow, a loser will always see feedback as a negative thing. Have you noticed that? You try giving a loser feedback. What does the loser say? I don't know why you're always giving me feedback. Right? I'm not talking about criticism. I'm talking about constructive feedback. There are also a lot of people who just criticize for the sake of criticizing. I'm not talking about that. What I am saying is that somebody giving you constructive feedback is an opportunity for you to grow. So when a winner receives feedback, he takes that feedback and he grows up and then uses that feedback as the growth point for that opportunity that he wants to convert. Okay, so I'm going to, yes, question please.
Do you think there is a thin line between feedback and criticism, and how do you differentiate?
You don't. It's a good question. So the question again, I'll just repeat it for our audience here is, isn't criticism and feedback, there's a thin line between the two. Should you spend any time differentiating the two? And the answer is very simple. Even the devil, okay, the worst enemy that you can think of, I'll just put the devil here. I don't know, really bad face, angry, horns, pointy tail, right? Even the devil wants you dead, but great feedback. Because whatever he says is going to be at 100% true. Okay, and he can be very, very critical of you. But the truth is that even the worst enemy, which in this case could be the corporate version of Satan himself, can give you good feedback. Okay, it just depends on how you want to take it. Even criticism, it's like Derek Prince said this once. He said when you eat fish, you eat the fish and spit the bones. So there is a way to listen to criticism. Take what's good, but spit out what's not required. So to answer the question of how do you deal with criticism along with feedback, is that you can still take the feedback, but reject the criticism. But the only reason someone is unable to take the criticism as feedback is because they are too small. They're too stunted. They're too small. Their stature is so little that every piece of feedback seems like an insurmountable wall. Okay, you understanding what I'm saying? So you want to be in a position where you're growing so that even criticism is good feedback. Okay, you're with me so far? So if you're thinking that this feedback is criticism, and it probably is, you can still take it as feedback, but leave out the parts which are personally harmful. They are toxic. You don't want to internalize them. You don't want to work on them. Okay? Because the enemy or the devil or whatever is your nemesis is going to try and put the feedback in the most harmful way possible, is the most hurtful way. It's like, if you think about it, the snake's toxin is what is used to make the snake's toxin's antidote. So whatever is toxic is also the answer, if you kind of understand what I'm saying. So in nature, whatever is causing the harm is also the answer to the problem, but it's the dosage which is the problem. So when somebody is highly critical, you want to lower the dosage and take the feedback, because that's still potent, if you understand what I'm saying. And then you slowly, as you do that, you get immune to the criticism, but you're still able to get the strength from the venom, in a sense, right? So hopefully that answers your question. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna finish off this session, and we can pick this up, how flow and how to get into flow, more of flow, in the next session. So thank you so much. Any questions? I'm going to pause for one more question, if at all there's one. No questions? No questions? Awesome. Thank you so much. We'll catch you on the next round. Have a great day. Bye.